Okay, so I think we can get started. We're going to start with some introductions. So I'm Olivia. I am a digital and e-commerce strategist at Bloom Search Marketing in Montreal. So as I mentioned, my role is really to focus primarily on helping e-commerce and retailers grow their digital business channels and their overall performance.
Awesome. And so I'm Madison. I'm the communications manager here at Livescale. You'll hear all about Livescale throughout the duration of this webinar, but truly my objective is to educate people, to make sure that the trendsetters of the digital space are really up to speed on what live shopping is, and of course, the role that Livescale has to play. And so any messaging, any brand storytelling, any of this is what I'm leading here at the company.
Great. So we're going to get right into it. So we're going to talk about holiday 2020 and what it's going to look like. There's no need for me to tell you all about how crazy this year has been. We already know. And but what we do know with certainty in the e-commerce world is that BFCM 2020 is going to be even crazier. And so what's going to happen, like what the biggest question is, what is it going to really look like? And so as lots of retailers have turned into digital marketing to make up for their lost retail losses, we have a presentation of like really great opportunities that are here for the first time in most cases. So it's no wonder that digital is booming like never before. And what I mean to say that is that we have a lot of new audiences, a lot of new potential opportunity out here. So this is really a time where sometimes, you're going to be experiencing or talking to people who would be their first time online shopping. This is the first time they've come to your website to purchase. This is their first e-commerce experience. This means that there's a lot of opportunity for growth, a lot of opportunity to talk to new different people, grow your affinity audiences, grow your networks. This is a great time to start, prospecting to those new channels. And then, of course, we already know that digital is a very competitive space. We had a quick break when it was COVID and retailers weren't really sure what was going on. We had a lot of opportunity in low CPMs, low costs. But with everybody kind of getting back on board, retailers and omnichannel businesses have really capitalized on the influx back. All the big players are back. So how do you make sure you can cut through the noise and gain your users' attention? And then the other type of topic we're going to kind of cover is how do we bring in that in-store experience online? So I mean, Madison, you know this as well. We're all creatures of comfort and familiarity, and in an age where you want to touch and feel a product, how do you bring that in-store experience while catering to users at home? I mean, we're definitely going to talk about this because this is exactly what Livescale provides for us. But these are the three types of things that most retailers and omnichannel businesses are going to be thinking about as they get into Black Friday and Cyber Monday holiday period. So let's get started. And how to do this? Well, live shopping can set your brand apart this holiday season. That it can. So live shopping is, for those of you who don't know, it's a highly engaging form of video marketing and sales channel all in one. I think really the best way you can describe it is that live shopping satisfies the needs of a variety of shoppers in today's market. Those who are curious about new products but aren't able to go in-store and see it firsthand. The savvy shopper looking to their go-to brands and retailers for that one-on-one experience. And those who are familiar with online shopping and looking for a seamless shopping experience. So, with live shopping, basically users can watch their favorite brands or influencers present products that are of value to them, click and purchase directly on their mobile phones, all the while having access to customer service representatives in their live chat. So this is really like an all-in-one.
Yeah, exactly. Experience. I think if you are someone that has been doing a lot of one-to-one Zoom consultations during the COVID era and also are trying to find a way to maximize your e-commerce platform, really you should be thinking about doing something like Livescale because it just takes everything that we know you're already doing and already trying to prioritize, and it wraps it all in one. Plus it's a fully branded experience. Plus you receive all of that first-party data that is so important to know what you should be doing and what your consumers are thinking and talking about. So we'll talk more about it in depth, but it really is something that maximizes engagement. It increases your sales conversion rate. And it also allows you to continue on with that methodology of social media that we've all kind of been really obviously addicted to over the past couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, this was something that was really interesting that we brought up, or was brought up to me by our platform partners earlier in COVID, is that, you know, just the amount of time people have been spending on their mobile devices has significantly increased. So, you know, 80% of people would rather watch a live video created by a brand than reading a blog post. I believe it.
Yeah.
We have so much more exposure to screen time, the opportunity to talk to your customers or your prospective clients. I mean, it's gone up astronomically. So for me, this makes perfect sense that you've managed to blend the live shopping experience in a format that people are already naturally gravitating to. And the inventory is it's just there. It's just ready for you.
Absolutely. I know when we go to the next slide, the authenticity of live shopping as well really lends itself to these kinds of really impressive KPIs and metrics, because when you're doing a live video stream, you're just being yourself. It's like Olivia and I talking right now. It's just super organic. We're having a conversation, and it's so lovely because if you're alone, if you're quarantining, if you're in isolation, we just crave these kinds of human, honest experiences and interactions. And then when you put a product in front, you get these kind of numbers where people are talking, they're asking questions, they're engaging. And with a platform like Livescale, we've really built out the features to be for that experience. And then of course, with an average engagement rate of 9.5, an average conversion rate, sorry, of 9.5%, that's 3 to 6 times higher than what you'd normally see on an e-commerce platform. They typically are 1 to 3. So
yeah, it exactly. You hit the nail on the head, and I think that kind of speaks to exactly what kind of experience people are having when they're on a live shopping event through Livescale. I mean, this is a dedicated group, and we can get into more about, you know, our audiences later on. But you know, they're tuned in, they're interested, they're curious, they're ready to shop. They want to see what their brands have to offer, and a 9.5 conversion rate. I mean, we saw something similar with our other clients who have pursued live shopping.
Yeah,
had wonderful success in an hour. You know, you can't really, it's almost too good to be true, but it is actually amazing. And then the engagement rate, you know, during the live shopping and even afterwards is fantastic. People are interested, they're excited. So I mean, these numbers kind of speak for themselves, and I'm always floored about how well it goes.
It's really, really cool. And I mean, of course, too, the more that you create content, the more that you normalize this behavior with your consumers. I mean, we're, of course, live shopping, of course, is a new technology, a new sort of additional element of your marketing and sales strategy for a lot of us North American brands and retailers. So it's new. You're an early adopter. You're teaching your consumer a new behavior. But the more that you do it, the more you'll be able to create that sort of habit, that norm, and the more that the behavior will be something that your consumers just look for and love and seek out as well.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy we're actually talking a bit about this, because Instagram has just announced their live shopping capabilities, and I'm sure that other social platforms will be doing the same, you know, within the next few months. I'm sure that this was on their roadmap. Yeah. Can you maybe walk me through, let's say, why Livescale? What's the differentiator between a Livescale shopping experience and that of just a live shopping on these really large conglomerate like social media platforms? So what would be the benefit?
Totally. So, I mean, whether you call it live stream shopping, live commerce, you know, social commerce, any of this, all of it speaks to the fact that brands and tech platforms are finding ways constantly to continue to convert, continue to be that place to go to for brands. So it's no surprise that Instagram's released a shopping capability. Of course, we saw this coming. It's really great also just for us because it allows people to know about it more. When these big brands adopt these new kinds of terms, it gets everything sort of more on the front radar with trendsetters, with digital editors, with thought leaders. So it's great for us. There are a lot of differences between Livescale because this is what we do. It's what we create. We're direct to consumer. So we're for brands, meaning that we're fully white label. So you have full autonomy over exactly how your brand looks and feels, the kinds of hosts that you have, the kinds of moderation that you participate in. You can, you know, trigger chats and polls and custom giveaways. And of course, you have full control over the data that you get to receive. So whether or not your purposes are actually for sales or they're for market research, they're for a new launch idea, they're more intimate, it's more of a one-on-one, one-to-many situation. you just have so much more options. And one thing I will say too with Livescale is that when you create an event, you're not only able to stream it on one social media platform, but many. That includes, putting that behind paid media, putting things in your newsletter. You get a custom URL every time you create a live shopping event, and we'll talk more about it later. But it really just becomes a game changer in the sense that you never want to live too much on one social platform or rely too much on it, especially when it's your business. So with Livescale, this is your platform, this is your solution, and you can use it and plug and play as much as you want.
I actually wanted to go back really quickly about the data, because I think that's probably the most interesting part of Livescale as it competes with the other social media platforms. So can you kind of go into a bit more detail on what exactly that means?
Totally. So at the end of every live event, you're able to export a really interesting Excel sheet, a really interesting post-event report talking about how many people tuned in, what were the products that were the most interesting, where were consumers hovering over, what were they talking about most. You have a live chat you're able to access after the event as well, but also the engagement rate specifically, how many pieces, where in the sales funnel did you lose the most buyers? People were hovering over certain products and they went to add to bag, but they didn't complete their checkout process. All of this happens seamlessly. And the thing that we can do this because we seamlessly integrate into your e-commerce. So one thing that a lot of live shopping brands will do, or social brands will say that have a shopping capability, is so that you can shop directly in the video. But often what happens is you have to, go to the third-party website or go to another website page to finish the checkout purchase. That might not seem like a big deal, but it really, really creates a lot of friction when it comes to these new buyers trying to figure out how to make a purchase, and people often just won't do it. So this is why our sales conversion rate is so high. And also too, you get the real-time data as the show is happening. When you're triggering polls, you get to see what percentage of your audience believes a certain thing. You can change the polls and trigger new polls in real time as well. You can ask direct questions, pin messages, the capabilities are very much limitless, and our product team is so dedicated to this that every single month we're rolling out new features, new options, and it's just really, really exciting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's probably exactly why your conversion rate is so high. If you have to start sending your users outside of the ecosystem that they're viewing the live shopping event, then certainly it's gonna drop. So okay. Well, thank you for the clarification, because I mean, we did see it. It was something that was top of mind as a digital marketer for myself. Like, how are you going to set yourself apart? But clearly, it's almost two different products entirely.
Totally. Absolutely. It's really how we see it. But it's great to see that more brands are paying attention to live shopping, especially as it's coming from Asia and those markets that have had it for years. It's only a good thing because more people will know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to continue. And so we've been talking a bit more about the product, but what does it actually look like? And I want to kind of have a walkthrough with you and the team to see it in real time.
Yeah, perfect. So Helen, our data marketing manager, who's truly an expert in all things live shopping, will walk us through exactly what the interface looks like. And so
Hi,
Helen,
guys.
you can take it away.
You don't see me, but I'm here, and give me a second. I'm pulling up the review so you guys can see the end user experience. So hi everyone. So if you don't see the screen, you can leave a comment in the chat so we know that there might be a problem there. But if not, I'm going to proceed. So everything that you're looking at here right now is how the end user experience for the Livescale uses customers. And I will walk you through quickly what is it about and then what they can do with it. It's a pretty straightforward concept, right? Live shopping, it's live plus shopping. So you see over here that you have a video feed.
Oh, Helen, I don't think we can actually see your screen.
Just make sure that, are you sharing it? Wait, I think we're getting there. I think something's happening.
Okay, sorry, because I'm streaming
everything
at the same time. My internet is struggling. All right. So I was saying that here's the in-user experience for the customer, what they will be looking at when they go on a live shopping show. So very straightforward for them. They see a video over here, and then they will be able to see some product below the video. Why the conversion rate can be so high is because while the host is introducing the product, they can actually just click on it and then make a purchase. So there is not much they need to do. They don't get popped out of the experience. Everything's very straightforward. And one thing interesting about Livescale is, apart from the sales engagement, sales component, for example, the product highlighter over here that you can see that also acts as an additional sales-driven feature that you can your customer can click on it, and then to buy while you're introducing the product, you can highlight that. But what's very interesting about us is we've got a lot of engagement feature. And I would like to show you about one thing that we do that is very cute is we have a
Oh, I think we lost
She
her.
was here. I'll wait and see if she comes back. No, I think she's gone, but she'll come back at some point. But one thing she was going to share are a few different engagement features that we have. One of them being, of course, polls and quizzes. So it's super, super exciting this way because you can truly in real time have a moderator dedicated to providing all of these engagement options for your viewers. And then, of course, something that you can do called Notify Winner, where this is really cool. If you want to do a giveaway before the live event or something like this, you're also able to have these people and communicate with these people directly one-on-one. Even if your live shopping event has thousands of viewers, you can really directly also grab those emails as well. So do any sort of a lead gen tactic, and all of these things really contribute to getting people to tune in to your live event, but also to, when they're on it, to continue to have those dialogues and conversations and then build that brand engagement as well.
That's really cool. I think that's probably the one thing that I find the most value here is that, you're actually able to reach out on a brand side, but then also as a consumer, you're actually able to reach out and talk to the brands that you love, talk to these moderators, participate in those polls. It really becomes like that one-on-one experience. Yeah, so you have a few use cases down here, I think, that we should definitely go through.
Okay, perfect. So one of them, so of course, the first kind of brand that you think of to really master live shopping, to do well with these kinds of things, is beauty. Beauty has been built for this. You'll often see a lot of YouTubers and makeup artists and influencers do their Get Ready With Me lives as they showcase the product, like holding it in front of their hand. Like all of this is just built to then add a shoppable component to the bottom of it. So if you're a beauty brand, especially one that relies on communication, education, this is built for you. However, really seen, especially accelerated by COVID and everything as well, we've really seen other verticals just run with this and kill it. Specifically, of course, in the luxury sort of consumer goods, aspirational goods section. So even in grocery, we're seeing a lot of interest and traction here, specifically before the holiday season. Makeup brands are also doing a lot with influencers. So every single week, there's a different point of view. You're bringing in a new audience to your brand as well. So lots of new potential consumers, which is amazing. Doing Get Ready With Me's, tutorials, all of this. Fashion brands also, it's Fashion Week right now in Paris. You're seeing people do live stream shows, amazing, but to really get people to understand the reasoning, the passion behind your collection, a lot of brand founders are doing their own sort of one-on-one showcases, talking about the fabric, talking about the story, the journey, showcasing materials, all of this. And of course, we've seen a lot of situations where jewelry brands are showcasing their new products. Often a day before a product launch, they'll do like an exclusive live pre-sale with bundles that you can only get via the live shopping show. This kills. Olivia, I know that you know that this kills completely.
Yeah.
And just like having the brand founder, having the person that is just like so clearly obsessed with the product, and then having a deal that you can only get in the live, it will always work. I mean, we were talking, unless you have like Anthony, doing a live cooking demo with like cookware, which everyone will tune into. There's just so many cool ways on all different verticals to really just, leverage the solution as well.
Yeah, and I guess that's also kind of a good segue into like, who is live shopping for? Who is it for? We've kind of been touching about it, obviously a really strong fan base, but live commerce really, it provides or it proves to work well for visually heavy industries, as you mentioned, beauty, cooking, jewelry, etc. So what's happening here?
Sorry, I'll keep pushing us forward.
There we go. Sorry about that.
The energy and it's just the rain.
It must be the rain. So what's really cool though too is that with the rise of mobile just exponentially growing year over year, of course, we're targeting mobile first users, right? Couple that with the amount of inventory now available through video, it's a like seamless plugin. You also mentioned customers who love like influencers or who are brand advocates, right? So this is for somebody who wants to hear directly from the source, the trendsetters who want to have, first grab at this product. And then I guess this is really for somebody who is digital savvy, right? So they want to understand their first party data. They want to see, to your point, where the drop-offs are in their products. it seems like this is a fully well-versed package, all delivered into one. And I want to continue too about the opportunities we have with SMBs and even larger retailers, because to your point, you know, live shopping really does help those small to medium-sized businesses generate more leads and leverage their native social communities by driving, you know, intimate relationships with their customers. They tend to have really strong brand advocates. They have a really loyal community. They have the opportunity to have a really intimate one-on-one session. Like, in what world can you speak to the designer of your favorite brand? Like, not really often, right? Like, when does that opportunity arise? There's always that fourth dimension where you can't actually interact with them. You can watch your favorite designers on eTalk or, you know, different types of platforms, or read their blogs or read interviews, but you're never really seeing them in action and in a way that they can communicate directly back with you via polls or different types of giveaways, as you had mentioned. And I think also what's kind of cool, we didn't really get to see with the walkthrough, but I know with experience is that live shopping is super simple to use and integrate with your backend. So it's like really easy to kind of start this whole process. I believe you have an app that kind of connects directly with, if you're a Shopify user or even a Salesforce user. And so if you're a small to medium-sized business and you don't have a huge tech team behind you, you can really leverage this on your own. You can be the one who kind of, you know, directs this, your director, producer, I guess actor at that case, but really it's all in one and completely seamless. And I think I wanted to talk to you, or you rather have more experience about the larger retail space. So if you want to maybe speak to your experience for that.
Totally. So, I mean, even just quickly with the small, medium-sized businesses too, we have integrated with Shopify starting in June of this year. So really exciting times, really convenient timing as well. So any small, medium-sized brand is able to immediately download Livescale in the Shopify App Store for free and just go and play, which again, normally, historically, with any kind of new technology like this in a totally new space, it's the big players that get to use it first, that get to adopt it first, that get to really benefit from the new users first. But now we're seeing it happen at the same time. So not only can our larger clients, you know, the beauty conglomerates of the world, the retail, the luxury houses of the world tap into this immediately, but you're also getting the same thing for any small business owner, which is really cool to see just how different things can be and how important that community really is. So with large companies, you know, they don't have the same problems as the smaller enterprises. You really have to continue to hone in and continue to create that small community-like feeling. So with Livescale, you're able to tap your retail experts, tap your local regional experts or brand ambassadors, and create small, localized, community-focused events that continue to give that feeling of authenticity, of one-on-one. Like you said, with a brand founder, like you really want to have that ability to connect and make them feel special, which you can with these kinds of shows. And so they really want to be able to not just have like a static Instagram post, you know, do all of the work for people now, but to have an immersive event where you can talk to your followers, you can talk to your community, you can show a product, you can choose the host that you'd like. It's really, really cool because it combines the best of social media, of shopping, of a website, of influencer marketing, of events even as well. And it's something that you can do safely. And it's also integrated into your e-commerce. So for these big brands, you don't have to worry about, you know, having to fill out this big Excel sheet of orders at the end of the month. It's already done. So it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, especially if you're an SMB, that's just a lot of extra work that you don't have the manpower to do. No. And I know, so we've been kind of alluding to this throughout the conversation, but we had a wonderful, and I mean wonderful experience with Livescale and our client, Jenny Bird. A little bit about Jenny Bird. So for those who don't know, Jenny Bird is a Toronto-based jeweler and founder. So Jenny is the founder of Jenny Bird, a line specializing in intuitive and statement-making pieces. The brand is a cult favorite. I mean, and I don't use that term lightly. It's people are obsessed. So it's a cult favorite among fashion influencers and celebrities alike. I don't know if you saw this, but Kylie Jenner was wearing the earrings the other day. Lizzo has been spotted wearing the products. Like, It's amazing. Like, people really love the brand. And so what had happened during COVID was that we were, the brand was concerned with the rise of COVID and social distancing. The jewelry brand really needed to look for a new way to engage with their audiences. And we had suggested Livescale as an opportunity. And I mean, the results kind of speak for themselves. The live shopping platform allowed Jenny Bird to connect directly with their online customers, bringing the shopping experience right to their screens with an interactive and, as we had mentioned, very intimate live.
Yeah.
It was Jenny who was hosting it. It was in her house. It was very special. And I mean, we've been saying this over and over, but like, what better way to shop than the person who, created the entire line? It's she had a wonderful explanation of every piece, how she was layering her chains. I mean, we did this now for her chains, her chain collection, and every piece had a story. Every piece was layered correctly. You got to see the whole process, her whole process of like why she created these pieces, how to layer the pieces, what goes well with what, and the subtle details that only the creator could actually convey in that conversation. What was really cool as well was that, they were first to market to do this, which is, as we've been talking about, this has been a growing trend in Asia and is slowly starting to come into the North American market. Yep. So they were first to market with this new shopping experience, which their customers loved. They had over 400 unique visitors come to the shopping event and tuned into the live stream. They sold out, to your point, specific bundles. Yep. So this was a unique value-added proposition for the brand. They had specific items that were on, bundled together. They completely sold out. And then, I mean, it speaks for themselves, like 20K in under 60 minutes. Like,
it's crazy.
That's crazy, especially that, to your point, to download the app is free. So, I mean, other than just posting it onto your communities or to your influencers or to, message in your email campaigns, like, this was a very powerful tool for the brand. It was a full success. We were so happy with the results.
Awesome. And I mean, one interesting thing too is brands in this space, sometimes people can think, if you have a demographic or a customer base that's a bit older, that's potentially in their 50s or 40s, they might not know how to use live shopping or know how to maximize the platform. But when you also have the QVC generation pivoting, going a little bit more mobile native, a little bit more mobile first, they know this behavior and they know how to buy and they know how to respond to these kinds of like limited time deals. And so I think with brands like Jenny Bird, but also with other brands that we're seeing, the demographic isn't just like Gen Z. It isn't just Y. It's not just young people, 20-year-olds. It's truly, there's a lot of power in the 30 to 55-year-old demographic as well. And they have purchasing power and they know the behavior. And so even if you're first to market and you might not be doing this first, there's still power in the experience. And Jenny Bird's case study really proved it. It's really, really cool.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and we talked a little bit about this already in terms of opportunities for growth and expansion in your audience spaces, that in reality, people will not be able to go into stores, right? They won't be able to touch and feel. They won't be able to, decide for themselves in that in-store experience. So when they have the opportunity to engage with a live, have the creator talk to them exactly how to stack it, what makes the piece special. That's really important. And especially that, during the gift giving season, we don't know really what the situation will be like. You're going to have to ship directly to your loved one. So this is like a really powerful, not only gifting for others, but even just for yourself. So yeah.
Awesome.
And so we've been talking a little bit too about how, communicating with your constituents, with your audience about kind of like hyping this type of live shopping up, but how does live shopping actually fit into a retailer's marketing mix? And I thought this was just honestly the icing on the cake because it provided so much opportunity. So when we talk about our marketing mix, we have a lot of different aspects that go into it. I'm sure as well, but especially when you want to work with brands, there's the four main pillars, which are product, price, place, and promotion. And the two that we're really going to look at is the product and the promotion. So these are the two items where we thought that combining Livescale into the marketing mix worked completely seamlessly and was super aligned. So when we talk about the product, I think this was really cool in our earlier discussions offline about this, was that it almost becomes your very own research and development platform.
Totally. Yeah. You don't have to like just think of Livescale as how we would see in Asian markets or in China, for example, where every day brands are going live. That behavior is just known and a norm. Here, we're seeing a lot more nuance, a lot of brands using this solution in Livescale for, really interesting market research opportunities to tap into their most loyal fan base, their most loyal customers, to learn also, not just to sell, but to learn, to gather data, and then to have those quarterly sales focused kind of events with amazing deals and like limited edition offers and really cool opportunities. But there is so much that you can do that isn't just related to selling product or primarily dedicated to selling product, that you can, showcase swatches of products and say, look, which one do you think we should have this bundle be, or which one do you think we should be selling more of, or what do you think of this color or this formula? Is it too sticky? What do you feel? And you can truly change the trajectory of your specific public-facing launches by doing these kinds of smaller events that are exclusive, that can generate sales, of course, as well. But, just give you direct access to a group of people that you might not be able to talk to right now, given, all the restrictions in place, or also just because you've never been able to ever with your brand.
And I think that's actually one of the key points, is that user research that we've been talking about. The fact that you also own your own data, you can go back into the chats, and the fact that you can also couple this with those unique URL hosting links, right? So that you can actually kind of cultivate an even stronger brand loyalty to your brand by involving, people who want to be brand advocates, right? So in the case of like, hey guys, let's determine what these next swatches should be, or whatever the case is, you're getting direct input and direct feedback from the people who love your brand, which is just, reinforcing that brand loyalty, that these people will care because they're being asked. And I think too, as well, if you're a brand, and it may not necessarily be like, to your point, products that they're necessarily selling, but maybe products that they want to test. This is the best opportunity. I don't think that there's ever been a situation here where you can selectively drop something new and have it not really affect your P&Ls too much. You don't have to buy into an entire collection of, either jewelry or makeup or whatever have you. You can actually sample it, get your most loyal fan base, and showcase it to them. I think this is an amazing opportunity for brands to get creative in their testing, creative in their products. So I think this, like, really the opportunities with Livescale are far more reaching than just a direct to consumer, but actually, product development, which I thought was the biggest added value that brands can really leverage from this tool. That has an immense, just an immense opportunity moving forward. Like, I think it's the coolest thing that you can actually speak to your clients and get their feedback in real time.
Awesome. It is also really important to know too that you can pick the products that you choose for every single live event. So you don't have to have your entire online inventory every single time, but you can make it super, super unique. Even if you don't have exclusive bundles, you can just choose maybe one product or 10 products or 50 products, but it really is customizable. So it speaks exactly to what you just said, Olivia. So. Yeah.
And so I think you also had a case study regarding a skincare brand that maybe you want to tell everybody about.
Yes, I think the one really interesting thing is that we've talked about influencers, we've talked about how you can, leverage the brand ambassadors, that sort of thing, and founders, of course, but also specifically in a skincare context, or in a context where you need to put education first. So, if it's a food brand or a confectionery or a grocery, maybe having the formulator, but the experts, the power of an industry expert that might not be known by everyone, but is known widely that they have the expertise and the information and the data to share, does very well with live shopping, especially in North America. So we had most recently a very well-known skincare brand come in with quite a high price point for some of their products, a bit over, I think an average product value. And what really worked well was not having the founder specifically, but having the vice president, the VP of education, one of the lead formulators, the person that knows every ingredient going into these products. They connected directly with their followers. They did basic promotion, and they just explained the efficacy of everything. And the person that was, speaking to the viewers was, of course, just an internal staff member. So they were being leveraged as an influencer, or what we call at LiveScale, the key opinion seller, not just the key opinion leader, but someone that can really sell, which is really great. But they placed education first. And I think when you already had an audience that was online and tuning in, when you have someone that believes in your product, that knows your product, and that can speak to why it's valuable, people just were obsessed. It was really, really amazing. They had 3 limited edition bundles that you were only going to get during the live event. They were explained brilliantly. The brand sold through them in the live shopping event. The event was less than 15 minutes long, and they sold over $25,000 US of product.
15, 1-5?
50, sorry.
Oh, sorry. But still, even again, it's that reiteration that that's the magic number, right? Under 60 minutes is the biggest impact that we see happening.
Totally. I mean, we also had a really cool brand called How to Cake It, which was a YouTube native channel. And they did an online baking tutorial and sold actual baking tutorial classes to be used after the event. So if you liked this, buy our package below, learn how to make these new items. And it was really cool, super innovative ways, but you don't always need to have a traditional celebrity or an influencer sell product to make a really cool impact.
And I think that's a really good thing to highlight, especially that, brands do tend to really rely on influencers. But I think, to your point, it's the person who's really going to speak to the product that you're selling. Having the VP of development in any type of situation really walk through the process, I think, is what's going to inevitably catch the user's attention and have them feel confident in making that purchase. Because again, we have to remember, right? We're trying to bring in that in-store experience of somebody talking about the brand, people not being able to really touch or feel it. But if you have an advocate who is behind the brand 100%, is the product developer, is the person of education, that's really special. That's really good. That's an amazing opportunity to, especially in this new audience demographic that is going to be emerging in the next holiday season, people are going to want to know that. They're going to need that education. They're going to need to feel that confident when they want to make this type of online purchase. So that you hit the nail on the head for that. I think that's a really good point, that it doesn't necessarily need to be an influencer, but somebody who is really there for the brand and can explain the product perfectly.
Totally.
So this leads us next to our the promotional tips of leveraging omni-channel marketing. So again, I think this is really cool because, to your point, we can create URL specific live shopping events.
Yes.
So this means that you can actually cater to the whole breadth of your audience. So whether it's to re-engage past customers, or if you want to build strong bonds with loyalty customers or that are looking for exclusivities in your product. We've touched on all of these topics, bringing that in-store experience online, capturing net new users. Everything here is available and customizable. So if you want to talk to your top 5% of purchasers or your most brand loyal purchasers, I think this is something that you can cater to anybody and everybody in your audience Rolodex, so to speak. You can make something super special. You can create those bundles. I think it's just a perfect way to promote your brand, your products, and get people to kind of come back and think about you the next time they want to make a purchase. So yeah, I think we've kind of covered this already throughout our conversation.
Yeah, it's important too to remember that if you're a retail brand, if you have store presence, if you have storefront, or if you're super heavy into e-commerce or even social media, live shopping and LiveScale does not replace anything that you've been doing. It truly is an enhancement to what you're already doing. It combines everything into one, but it's an added layer. I'm sure you've seen that with the Jenny Bird element. You didn't substitute anything for LiveScale, but you're just adding something fresh and new.
Yeah, and I think, and we had, again, offline, we chatted about this, but it was mostly even how to leverage, let's say, stores that kind of need a bit more help, right? So with those specific URL links, if you have specific stores that are struggling, or you really want to make inroads before you open a new store, creating these custom events and geo-targeting based off the location you're looking at is a great opportunity to even get the pulse of what's happening in that area, how people will react to the brand. Will people be interested? I think it's like a very, and to your point, it's not substituting, it is enhancing, because you can support those either in-store initiatives. You can, I mean, again, people aren't in retail spaces right now. They're very strict, but it could be a whole production, right? You can go to your local, local large-scale beauty store, for example, and they could be hosting an event specifically for a new brand launch, right? Where they can be promoting it in-store, but the event will be live on their website or through a specific link where people who sign up or give their emails, again, through that lead generation, they can then go and participate.
Totally. So. Yeah, it's super, super cool. I mean, we can talk about this forever, but because it's a URL event, you can make a, website URL that attacks onto the end of your website where you can have a schedule of all of your live streams. You can make it feel like it's also part of your e-commerce. It doesn't have to just float around as well. Just super cool.
Yeah. And so we've been talking a bit of like how to speak to the audiences a little bit more. So here, through promoting the live shopping event, I think we've touched on it quite a bit, but how does your omnichannel or paid media ecosystem fit with live shopping? So of course what I would say is definitely announce it through your email marketing. So based off your segmentations, focus on the highly engaged users. So people who are interested or opening your emails, people who are spending time on your emails, clicking out to actually, go and see what it is that you're talking about. And so what I would say first is really leverage the audiences that are already dedicated to your brand through your email. So again, your top engagers, your top purchasers. And then if you want to re-engage people who you haven't seen in a while, this could be a really great opportunity. And I think when you want to launch a live shopping event, it's certain that you want to keep the email mix present. So you definitely want to make sure that you're sending them reminders, setting up the cadence to reiterate when the live shopping event will happen, drop teasers. So this is certainly a really great way to amplify kind of like the whole content and marketing mix.
Totally.
And then for your social media, I think we talked about this too, and I'll bring up Jenny Bird again. They did a great job. First of all, they do a great job with their social media. People follow it. They follow them. They are a cult favorite. They have a lot of brand ambassadors, but amplifying live shopping through your social media is definitely something to consider, either via your brand, like your in-store or your employees, right? So they're product advocates, people who are the educators, but also the influencers who work with the brand, the creators, the product, like the actual brand, like CEOs or company founders. Through your social media, you can also offer like the exclusivity of it. So what they can be expecting, again, hinting towards what would be dropped or what users can expect to see.
It was amazing. I think with Jenny Bird, for example, just as a viewer, as a customer watching everything as well, just teasing and even doing a straightforward selfie video, because again, it's about authenticity. It's not about overproduction and overhype. Just communicating genuinely about how exclusive the deals will be and how cool the gift with purchase will be. All of this was amazing. And for anyone curious about how to market emails as well, I would say what you guys did with even the lead up to this event is a really, really cool benchmark to see the frequency, the cadence, because I felt like you were always communicating, but never too much. But enough that I knew the event was happening at 10 and I could tune in, which is great because I'm one of the presenters, but still it was super, super well done.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
No problem.
It was a lot of planning. And then, so of course, we've touched about this, but with the influencers is to leverage your influencer campaigns. So get your influencers to talk about your event to their following. And again, employees can also be brand ambassadors, to the point that we've kind of hammered home right now, is that, your VP product can talk to their audiences or to the brand's audiences through their own voice, and kind of give a reason for them to come in. So asking your team members to share within their own communities. And then again, to the point, let's say if you do have a retail spot, your retail team can also promote the event in store. So 'tis the season for live shopping. This is exactly what we've been leading up to.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting. So what I wanted to actually show you or kind of go through here is what and how live shopping can add to your marketing mix. Again, to what Madison's point, it's not something that's going to substitute. It's something that's going to add an incredible amount of value to your product, to your brand, and it provides the opportunity for a lot of content to be generated. Sometimes brands have difficulty filling up their marketing mix with content. Sometimes it can get dry. Sometimes it can get, repetitive. So how do we kind of, to your point, Madison, communicate this effectively, keep it top of mind, but not really, overwhelm the user? I've kind of put together a, calendar of sorts to kind of talk, or you can use as a template if ever you wanted to plan a type of event. And I think this worked really well. So here are the actual dates for December 2020. So if this is something that you want to think about moving into holiday, on the 29th and 30th of November, we don't have to go through all of this, to be honest.
It's super, it's like, if you can, screenshot it, but also we'll be sharing this after the fact, but it's really, really great. I love that you guys put this together. It like showcases the spacing, and then how almost each of the live shopping events that you do or will do can work to help the other one succeed, so they never like live in a silo, which I thought was amazing.
Exactly. And so when we were planning this, or like if I was I work with my brands, but this is what I would present to my clients as an opportunity. You have 3 major events. The first one is kind of like the main, the benchmark to see what's happening, what's going on, figure out all of the kinks to work out for you the next 2. But what's really important is also the follow-up to these events, really going back to your constituents and engaging with them, saying, man, this was amazing. This was awesome. Thanks for everybody who came, but also kind of telling them what they missed out on. We had this exclusivity. I'm so sorry if you couldn't come, because it's not there anymore. It's not offered anymore. And that, I think, to your point, Madison, is that build up for the last 2 live events. And again, you're always dropping hints to your customers. You're always dropping hints to your audiences. You're talking about it in your blog. You're talking about it in your social media. And it's a really, I think it's a great tool to kind of, one, make sure that you're pushing your products in a time of holiday spending. You're kind of guaranteeing that your product is being pushed and sold, so you don't have that much left over come January. But it also gives users the opportunity, again, looking for that in-store experience, looking for that virtual touch and feel of a product to get it. And then having the idea that they missed out on something really reinforces that, ooh, I can't miss out again. I don't want to miss out again.
Totally. And I think the one thing that we were talking about earlier in the planning for this presentation, which has stuck with me and I thought has been such a valuable insight, is to almost use your first live shopping event as just like leveraging for the next one. So, one thing that I've really loved seeing is when brands will go live with an influencer or go live with the key opinion seller, and they'll see, and the brand account on social media will repost all of their followers' stories showcasing the amazing time that they had at this live event. And you feel like you really missed out, and that you kind of failed yourself a little bit because you didn't make time to tune in and get these deals. And those deals will never happen again, but you might get another chance to get a different deal, and you can't miss out on this. So really just milking all of the content, milking the enthusiasm, the FOMO. You can really leverage the FOMO.
But I think to your point too, right? Again, it's that reiteration of that content. As a brand, you can screenshot people's, reactions to the Livescale event. You can promote it too, right? Making sure people are like talking about it, posting back onto like clips of the event, because you have it afterwards. And demonstrating really like how much fun it was. Because I'm really thinking of it as a way to kind of like shop with my friends too, right? Like we're all together. We may not be able to shop together in a retail store, but we can sit at home. We can be very comfortable. We can watch this event happen. We're all kind of in it together. And to your point, it is that bit of that FOMO. But and so what I think is also really important too is the post-event recap. I know we've already touched about it a little bit, but reiterating the success of it, having people be reminded of it. And I think even on your own end, it's a learning experience. So what did go wrong? Or what is it that, really worked? Or in the data that you can accumulate later on in preparation for the next one, where were people dropping out?
Yeah.
What were people hovering over? Was it the price that they weren't, were concerned about? So you can, and because it's based off all your products or the products that you want to showcase, you have direct control of amending those products, those price points, those bundles. So if you're seeing comments, oh my gosh, this is such great value, I'm so happy, or I wish there was something else for that price, you can change it. And there's really, again, opportunities are endless. And it's also good too. I mean, I have it here as well, but like the last ship dates, this is something that could later on in the month of December that you can reiterate through your live event, right? It's like, this is the last chance. You got to get it before last shipping. So there's also, again, to reiterate, that sense of urgency coming in from these live events.
Perfect. Yeah.
So what's next? So now we've talked about this. We've talked about how you can download the app. We've talked about how great it is for the last 51 minutes. But how do you actually get started with Livescale?
So it's super easy. I think we've actually tracked it, and it's 11 clicks before you can get started with your first live shopping show. So it's just super, super easy. You could technically do one tonight if you wanted to. So if you're on Shopify as a business right now, great news. All you have to do is go to the Shopify App Store and download Livescale, and you're good to go. You can play with everything. You can customize your dashboard, and it's free to download. So there is no risk. Does not matter when you start your first live shopping show. We have reduced our transaction fee from 7 to 5%. So really, the thing is, if you sell, then we make money. But that is the only condition. If you have a live shopping event and you don't sell anything, you've lost nothing. You've just learned something new. So there really is a really cool opportunity now to get ahead of the game before the holiday season really kicks in. And you can get started with this. Also, if you're not on Shopify, we've built a few different packages and plans for brands that are looking to get started to learn about live shopping. So we can always, all of us talk about that later as well.
Yeah, I see that Lisa had a question specifically about that if they weren't on Shopify, but on WordPress. Yeah. So to your point, I think you also have a technical integration team that can work with brands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, it's definitely doable. There's no really barrier there.
Cool. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Oh, it is. No, it's good. It's nice to have like a dog in the mix. Yeah, I know, Alicia. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, how do we complete our live selling platforms? Okay. So to watch a replay, it's something that we are aware of, and at Livescale, the product team is working on. So I think ahead of a really busy season, it's super, super great. You can make a lot of revenue after the live sale. One thing that I would recommend doing during your live event, as well as a little hack, is having a discount code that you can pin to the screen or just share with your viewers, that maybe until midnight that day or until 1 a.m. the next day or something like this, that those viewers can get rewarded to shop on your store after the fact as well to make those purchases. Again, it creates a bit more opportunity for more sales, but it also shows how many people are coming to your website after the live event from Livescale as well. But super great. How do we get started if not on Shopify? So you are able to go with two different options. One of them is integrating fully. So we'll work with your team to build really an integration so it's super seamless and you can go and run and do everything that you need to do. Or you can start out and try Livescale for a few months with a package that we call Livescale Connect. So either one, this one takes about 2 days to integrate. So it's super straightforward. Offline products. That one I want to hear a little bit more about. I think the one thing that we do quite well is integrating everything from your e-commerce platform into the solution. So if it's not online, we'd have to build maybe a Shopify store for that, or I'd love to hear a bit more about this one though.
Mm-hmm. Did you answer Kellyanne's question?
Competing with other live selling platforms?
Yeah, so I think Kellyanne, your question really is that when the sale is done, you'd like to be able to generate revenue post-sale, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did a little. You can have a code where you're able to embedded and give it to your users. They can use it after the fact. But yeah, Kellyanne, okay, great. I'm glad that you've got an answer. But stay tuned. We're launching a lot of new features, and all of these things are things that we're really close to releasing and working on too. So that's really good to know that we're all on the same page.
So Lisa has a question about LiveScale Connect and pricing. So I think you had already kind of touched on this, but for pricing, it's free to download the app. So the app is completely free. And then you said you reduced your prices because it's commission based. So it's based off how many sales you actually make, right? So it was 7% of total sales generated, and now it is 5%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
5% of all sales that take place in LiveScale during that period. So really great to know. With LiveScale Connect, you can just send me an email. I'm not sure if we have it, or send someone at Bloom an email. They can get started at whatever you want. But my email personally is madison@livescale.tv as well. If it's not on Shopify, no. So for Shopify, integration is free and it's 5%. And then for everything else, we're working towards having this for all e-commerce platforms. But again, we'll get into all of this. If you want to send me an email, we can communicate with our teams and all of this.
So Anna has a question. I was wondering if LiveScale has some sort of calendar for shoppers who like live shopping and want to tune in to discover new brands, or even for us to check out other live shopping events before hosting our own. I don't think you actually have a calendar. Is
Anna
that correct?
She's living inside of our brains. So this is coming. It's something that we're super excited about, but we're working on, absolutely. Because again, it's such a new technology, making sure that people are excited and aware and discovering new brands too is something that we're super excited about. So stay tuned, Anna. Sign up to our newsletter, because these kinds of things are coming out every week, and you never know when this will come true. So it's great. Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, so if you guys need any help with your holiday strategy, or if you want your own very own personalized calendar that I made, you could visit makeitbloom.com for a custom proposal. You can reach out to LiveScale TV too if you want to know more about the product. And if there aren't any more questions, then I want to thank everybody for joining in, for spending your Wednesday morning with us. Hopefully my dog didn't scare you guys. I am so sorry about that.
It was great.
But work from home.
So I mean, I will say to everyone watching, like, Bloom has been so incredible. They've really, really been able to adapt and become experts in live shopping. So if you're looking for an agency that just really gets it, like these people, I mean, you can see with the success with Jenny Bird as well. It's been really, really cool. And so we really appreciate having partners like you guys to chat with and innovate alongside with, and all of this, especially too. So it's great.
Well, you just make us look better. So we're providing the best that we can for our clients. And it's all, of course, always wonderful to work with partners who are prepared to be first to market in new technologies and new digital trends. So the feeling is mutual. And thank you everybody for coming in and joining us today.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye, guys.